Good day, everybody. This is the Hermit Modeler. I am coming to you from my little secondary model room in my secondary hobby of model railroads. I've finally finalized. I guess that's about the only way to really put it. I finally finalized my track plan and layout and everything for my Zarahemla Western Model Railroad layout. I know it's kind of a funky name that comes from my one of the names of the cities in my one of my church books there, and I just thought it was a really cool sounding name, so I decided to call my model railroad layout the Zarahemla Western. And we are in. Let's just take a look at this room here a second. Okay, we are in an 11-foot by 15-foot room, and as you can see, it's got lots and lots of stuff going on. We have a door over there, the first thing, with a window. As we move around, we've got a little area here where I've got parts of my layout work table set up there, I guess you call it. We have the door into the house here. Coming over to this one, we have a window there and the swamp cooler up there. So we've got a lot of stuff in the way. So it took some ingenious planning on my part. Well, whatever. It took some ingenuity here to get this layout into here. So I ended up with 4 foot by 12 foot is what I could get reasonable with being able to use this room for other things too. And we are Atlas Code 100 track, 18-inch radius curves. I wanted bigger, but that's what I could get for what I wanted to do with the layout. And number 4 turnouts. So that is the basics of the room and the layout. And okay, underneath I have my extra model truck boxes for all my unbuilt kits. Well, not all, and this is my overflow area that I have down here for those. I still have to build the control center for the layout yet, too. I just got wires hung all over the place right at the moment. So let's start out with probably one of the most important things. My wife grew up in Pella, Iowa, and Walters offered us the Pella Depot. Not quite perfect, but yeah, it's a good representation. So that had to go onto the layout. She passed several years ago, so this is in my memory of her. So we have the Pella Depot right to start with here. And behind that, we have the grain elevator. Let's swing around this way here first. Got a couple of weird buildings here that I set up here. This started out as this little freight depot. That's what this big complex started out at. And it just kind of grew and grew and grew. And now it's all over the place. We have our servicings for the gas stations, where we receive oil and products for the gas stations there. And then as we moved back towards the front of the layout again, this little Quonset hut started out as just a Quonset hut, and like the building before, it evolved into all of that. And we have back in this corner here, we have the little residential area. I know this would not be allowed on the railroad, but I had the buildings and I wanted to put them someplace. So I built myself a little residential area. And then as we follow our track on down, we have the siding again for the depot. And we have the town itself. And I've used I don't know how to really explain it, but this is the tenements right back here that I put those together into one unit, and I had extra pieces left over, and I was able to use them as a view block at the end of that street to help block off the yard. We'll talk about that when we get over to the yard. So anyway, this is my city itself. And we have some buildings facing the back of you here. A little gas station going to go in there. A little service, old something going on. And I worked at a window company when I was in Iowa. I worked at a window company, and not really. I mean, there was really nothing wrong with it. I just, I didn't really enjoy myself there. So I've always had, since I've had on my layouts, the Stuck Window Company, as my opinion of working in factories. I'm an outside person, and I just really, the factories just kind of closed in on me. So anyway, that's my Stuck Window Company. I guess my tribute to Pella Windows there. This is, well, it actually was supposed to go, and if you saw it on the other layout, you saw the tower blocking a crossing. Well, I've changed it into a residential area here, and I've put it onto the corner of the layout. That way, as I go by, I have something I can knock off every time I go by it. You know how that is. We have another building that it was from a different layout too. It had other purposes. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it makes a nice end to the yard. Yeah. Who knows what I'll end up with that. And then we have our yard itself. And this is the view from, let me see if I can get this all in here. This is the view from, let me get back out of that swamp cooler there. There we go. This is the view from the very end of the layout. And there is the yard that I was talking about. It is essentially a 4-track yard. And then we had the run around track here. And there is the other side of the co-op grain elevator. And I just completed, well, not completed, I still got some work, detail work to do on it. But that is the engine house. And then we finish up we are now over at the other side of the little town. I have the town road is going to come in there and just kind of wander around and service everything. It was supposed to have gone over into the city on the other side of that big building there, but I ran out of room. So I have it also that it comes in from this other side with a building actually in the way there. And it kind of goes over to there. And then the road goes on down that way there. And you can see that that's pretty close to the back there. It probably would not be that realistic, but I wanted a room to work with roller cars there. That is, at this point, the Zarahemla Western Model Railroad layout. This is an HO scale. I don't think I mentioned that before, but it is an HO scale. And as I did mention earlier, it is a secondary hobby to my model cars. And for those who have been following model cars, I kind of have a tendency to burn out on a hobby after a while, and need a little break from it, just a few weeks. And I'm starting to get back. I did that with model cars. I had so much going on with them that I did burn out on them. I will be getting back into those. I actually have started getting back into them again now. But I did need a break, and while I was taking a break, I put up my model railroad layout. And I want to thank everybody for stopping by. This is, once again, the Hermit Modeler. And be sure to tell your friends, hit the like button, and hit the subscribe button. And be sure and ring that bell, too, so that you get all new episodes when they do come out. And we're going to sign off now. Take care. Have fun with your hobbies.